Welcome back to another episode of 40 Facts about the 40K universe. I am your host Gershwin and you are watching One Mind Syndicate. Today we continue talking about the Adeptus Custodes with part 2. We're going to get into notable Adeptus Custodes throughout history. So let's get into 40 facts about the Adeptus Custodes. The Adeptus Custodian Aquilon served as the Oculi Imperator, the Eye of the Emperor, the custodian who was assigned to watch over the Primarch Lorgar and his word-bearer legion, after they were found to have violated the Emperor's trust during the Great Crusade, by spreading their belief that the Emperor was a god to the newly conquered human worlds. Aquilon and a team of 4 other custodians were assigned to the Word-Bearer's Legion after the Legion's humiliation on the world of Kur, and the destruction of the planet's capital city of Monarchia by the Ultramarine Legion on the orders of the Emperor. Aquilon used a 2-handed power sword in combat, rather than the standard Guardian Spear. Aquilon and his 4-man team were all eventually slain by the Word-Bearers, so that they could not inform the Emperor of Lorgar's betrayal. The leader of the demon-possessed Galvorbak, Argol Tal, decapitated Aquilon by biting his head off. The Adeptus Custodes Brokor took part in the Blood Games alongside Ammon, Hadon, and Zarin. The Blood Games were a series of exercises to test the defense of Terra from infiltration. It was a way to keep the security of the Imperial Palace at the highest degree. Brokor emerged as the runner-up to the contest. Valdor had not expected anyone to get closer to the Imperial Palace than Brokor, but Ammon succeeded in infiltrating the palace itself. Another notable Adeptus Custodes is Hideo Imankon. Imankon took part in one of the many Blood Games alongside Ammon, Zerion, and Brokor. Of the 4 participants in the contest, Hadon was the 3rd most successful, as he made it to Cebu City before he was caught. Imankon was later charged by Constantine Valdor to gather incriminating evidence on a member of the government of Unified Terra who was suspected of treason against the Emperor. Adeptus Custodes Icus was one of the 15 custodes sent to watch over the Word-Bearer's Legion, who was not assigned to watch over Lorgard. Icus and his fellow custodes watched over the first captain Corferon and his first chaplain Erebus instead. Before the Word-Bearer's treachery came to light, Icus and all his custodes had fallen in battle alongside the Word-Bearers, never knowing of their betrayal. Adeptus Custodes Calhin was one of the 4 other custodians assigned to serve under the command of Aquilon to watch over Lorgard and his Word-Bearers, while attempting to kill the traitor Cycrin Velenation. Calhin was shot down by one of the Ligo Cybernetica members. Adeptus Custodes Amon was a custodian who was charged with protecting the Emperor in the early 31st millennium, when Terra began the process of fortification to withstand the coming assaults of the War Master Horus and his traitor legions. Many years before the start of the heresy, Ammon was present at the Council of Nicaea to watch over the trial of Magnus the Red for his use of sorcery, while protecting Caspar Hauser, a space wolf. Ammon was attacked by a minion of chaos in a disguise of a 1,000-sun space marine, but managed to survive the encounter thanks to the efforts of the Astartes of the Space Wolf chapter. After Horus's betrayal reached Terra, Ammon was tasked with taking part in the Blood Games, a rite all custodians endured, and one which set them against the formidable defenses of the Imperial Palace in the hope of improving the custodians' defenses of the Emperor through the exposure of flaws in his protection. Following his success in the Blood Games, Ammon and a fellow custodian, Imankon, were sent on a dangerous mission by Constantine Valdor, the chief custodian, to gather incriminating evidence on the members of the government of Unified Terra. Adeptus Custodes Neralus was one of the 4 other custodians assigned to serve under the command of Aquilon to watch over Lorgard and the Word-Bearers. Neralus was considered a sword master for his skill with the custodian spear. He used this skill to slay Malnor, one of the strongest of the demon-possessed Galvorbak, who was torn apart seconds later by 2 other members of the warrior elites of the Word-Bearer's Legion. Adeptus Custodes, Scythran, was one of the 4 other custodians assigned to serve under the command of Aquilon to watch over Lorgard and the Wordbearers. Before leaving Terra to watch over the Wordbearers, Scythran swore an oath that he would not speak again until he set foot on Terra once more, when this duty was complete. He kept his promise until the moment of his death at the hands of the Galvorbak, when he mocked the Wordbearer's chaplain, Xanfin, just after killing him for his betrayal of the Emperor. Built beneath the Himalayan peaks known as Rakaposhi, only the most senior custodians bothered to use its original name, Kangaba Marwu, and for those condemned to its cells, who would never again see the light of day, they knew it simply as the Vault. Udar was removed from the fighting ranks of the Ligo Custodes after being exposed to an orc bacteriological pathogen, whose after effects greatly reduced his reflexive response times to a level below minimum requirement for frontline service amongst the custodians. A proud man, he took his removal from the front lines hard, but eventually adapted and took to this new role at the Vault, with the same determination and attention to detail that had seen him come to the closest to the full infiltration of the Imperial Palace in the Blood Games, until his peer Ammon bested him. During his tenure, Udar was charged with watching the last remnants of the Outcast Dead, a small group of Astartes warriors drawn from the traitor legions that were the last of the Crusade hosts, an honor guard of Space Marines comprised of representatives from each of the 18 Space Marine legions that served on the rotational bases within the Imperial City outside the Imperial Palace on Terra. Udar met his ultimate fate when the Outcast Dead engineered a successful escape attempt. Udar was slain when he confronted one of the Berserker World Eaters in close combat. The Berserker in question, Sergeant Tagore, ripped out a section of Uldar's spine through his chest, just as Tagore had promised he would during his confinement. Adeptus Custodes, Vendatha, was one of the 4 other custodians assigned to serve under the command of Aquilon. Vendatha was used as the 10th sacrifice to summon Ingthel, the demonic emissary of the Chaos Gods. Saturnalia was a member of the Ligo Custodes during the Horus Heresy. He was assigned to the Psi Hunter team charged with the task of capturing the Outcast Dead, the surviving members of a small Astartes honor guard known as the Crusade Hosts that was stationed on Terra. The fugitive Astartes were members of the traitor legions that had sided with Horus in the rebellion against the Emperor during the Horus Heresy. They had been imprisoned in the maximum security prison known as the Vault, since they could no longer be trusted, but they managed to stage a breakout and escape. Saturnalia became part of the hunt team led by seer hunter Yasu Nagasena to track down the Outcast Dead in an attempt to regain his honor after letting the Outcast Dead take his prisoner, the astropath Kai Zulan. During the final battle with the Outcast Dead in the Temple of Woe, Saturnalia managed to kill Suba, a World Eater Berserker. Suba's twin, Azuba, attacked him and drove a Custodian Guardian spear through Saturnalia's head, just as Saturnalia managed to stab the enemy in the heart with his own Guardian spear. Adeptus Custodes, Sumant Giri Falguni Tirtha, was a veteran custodian, whose name was said to bear at least 76 awarded titles. He was one of the Galors on the high-security Imperial prison on Terra known as the Vault. Tirtha was charged with the duty of guarding the extremely dangerous group of prisoners known as the Outcast Dead, the remnants of the Astartes honor guard known as the Crusader Hosts. During the Horus Heresy era, Adeptus Custodes Uldar was the lead Galor of the subterranean high-security prison built to detain those individuals deemed hostile to the Emperor and isolate from the other worlds above. And those were 40 facts about the Adeptus Custodes. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I want to apologize for all the mispronunciation of names, horrible sentence structures, and just outright bad reading. Everybody has an off day, and today's my day. I shot myself in the foot by trying to create this in a very short amount of time. Don't worry though, tomorrow's video is going to be a lot better. The awesome thing about One Mind Syndicate is that we post every single day, and this won't happen again. Thank you guys for liking, commenting, and sharing, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. This was Gersh1 with One Mind Syndicate, signing out.